to my channel. My name is Bonnie and I love crafting and sewing, so that's what we do here on my channel. And we have uploaded a few videos, so I hope that you go back and check those out and hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you like the content. And what we're going to do today is we're going to do a soup bowl cozy. So it's a small little square bowl type thing that we're going to make with some padding in it. And when you put your bowl in the microwave and heat it, it keeps you from burning your fingers when you go to take it out. So it's a great little handy thing to have, and they're very easy to make. So that's going to be our project for today. So I hope you will join us and I hope you enjoy it. And if you do, you'll hit that subscribe button and we're ready to go.
Okay, we are ready to start our project today. So for this project, it's pretty simple. You need 2 pieces of fabric, and I did a coordinating fabric, so the 2 pieces of fabric, and those need to be 10-inch squares. So you're going to cut those into 10-inch squares, and then you need 2 pieces of batting, which is like quilt batting, and you're going to cut those into the 10-inch squares also. So this is a real simple project, needs very little supplies, and then you're going to need a sewing machine because we're going to sew this on the sewing machine. So I hope you enjoy the project, and we're going to get into it. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is you're going to put a piece of batting on each piece of fabric, and we're going to pin those together. And the batting is just for when you put your bowl cozy in the microwave. Just keep its padding between your hands and the hot bowl, which will keep it from burning your hand. So we're going to pin these together, and we're going to cross stitch an X through the middle, and I'll show you what I mean in just a minute. One more pin. Okay, so we've got those both pinned, and then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stitch across in like an X, and that's just to hold that batting to these and adhere it. So let me just mark that. All right, so we're going to mark an X on this, and we're using a disappearing ink pen. It's a fabric pen, so you can buy these at most fabric stores. So once you put the heat to it, usually it disappears right away. So we're going to just mark these, and then we're going to go to the sewing machine. Piece, same thing, just doing an X on it. This is just a simple project, but you'll really enjoy this little bowl cozy, because if you're like me, you're always having to grab the pot holder, the cup towel, something to get the hot bowl out of the microwave. So this
is really nice because it just it lets you have a little cushion in between so that you don't burn your hands. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the sewing machine. Okay, so we're here at the sewing machine, and we're just going to sew these together right on that disappearing ink line that we just put on there. And I'm using like a lime green thread that kind of coordinates, so it just gives you a little bit of dimension. Do a little back stitch there just to lock in your stitch. Cut this stitch off. Just do the other side. You always just do that little back stitch. It just locks in your threads so that you don't ever have to worry about your threads coming undone on things that you're sewing. Do the other one. It's going to be really cute. It's like I may not can see my ink on this one very well. It's such a bright color. My thread caught a little bit there. I'm just going to stop. Pull that out, pull my thread back out, and move up just a little bit to start again. I'm just going to do that X across this one just like we did the other one, just to hold that batting in place. Bit of a back stitch coming right off of there, and one more stitch, and we've got this step done. Let's start from this side. I love this lime green color. I think it must be one of my favorite colors because I noticed when I went to pull thread, I have so much of this thread. I must have back in the day done a lot of projects with this color, because when I worked at Hancock Fabrics, we were able to do our own projects, and then they put them on display in there, and then once that they displayed for so many weeks, you got to keep them. So I did a lot of sewing back in those days of more clothing and things like that. So we've trimmed off all of our threads. Everything's nice and neat. Now we're going to move back over to the cutting area, and we're going to place some pleats in there. Okay, so we're back over here. We've removed all of our pins. We're going to fold them in half with the batting side out. And then we want to make a mark on your folded side 1 inch in. Make a mark here, make a mark here, 1 inch in on both of them. And then we're going to mark that from here. And then 2 inches in on the fold line. And then we're going to draw across from that because that's where we're going to stitch. So we're going to stitch that one. We're going to be 2 inches in here. Make your line. We're going to stitch this one. The same thing on this one. We're going in by 2 inches. On this side, and then we're going to go back and stitch this down at the sewing machine. All right, so we got that stitched at the sewing machine. We're going to trim this down just so we won't have a bunch of bulk underneath there. Just trim right below your seam. We're going to turn it the opposite way and do it again. And this just makes the cupping for your bowl to go into. So I'm just going to fold this the opposite way. And we'll do the same thing again. We're going to measure an inch. I'll do it this way, be quicker. So we're going to measure an inch from the fold and 2 inches on the fold. An inch from the fold and 2 inches on the fold. This one, same thing, and then we're going to go back to the sewing machine and sew one more time. Just make our lines here so we have our sewing. We're going to actually sew it. Let's do this one. Okay, we are going to go back to the sewing machine one more time. Stitch those down. Okay, so we're back from the sewing machine. We did those on the other corners. We're going to trim them down. Trim this one. And then, you see it's like a little bowl. We're going to put right sides together. We're going to pin this all around. And then we're going to go back to the sewing machine and we're going to stitch it. We're going to leave a small opening because that is how we're going to turn it when we leave the small opening. And it's going to turn out so cute. So I'm just going to pin around here. I know that I say this in most of my videos, but this would be a great little gift for someone. Just a nice little thing that you could give with a soup recipe, a cute little bowl, and that would make the nicest gift. I'm a I'm a big soup eater, so I make a lot of soups, and I love soups. Summer and winter, I do a lot of soups, so these come in very, very handy. Okay, we're gonna go back to the machine, and we're gonna sew around this and leave an opening for turning. Okay, so we're back to the sewing machine. We're gonna start about midway on one side, because we got to leave a spot for an opening. You just want to do about a 5/8 inch seam, do a little back stitch there. We're going to go all the way around it. You get to your corner a little bit before you get to your seam allowance, drop your needle and turn. Gives you those nice crisp corners. Sew all the way around. Be careful when you come up to those pins. Get to your corner, drop your needle, take a turn and keep on going. We just got one more side to do. Drop your needle, make that turn. Make sure that batting's kind of getting caught in there. Coming to the last corner. And then we're not going to go all the way to where we stitched before, because we want to leave that opening for us to be able to turn it. So we're going to stop about right here, do a little bit of a back stitch. Bring it out. Are going to go back over and remove the pins and turn it, and then we're going to do a cute little simple straight stitch top stitch on it, and we're going to see the finished project. Okay, so we're going to remove all of these pins. And then I'm going to just give my corners a little bit of a trim, that just so you don't have that bulk in there. Don't trim your stitching, but just right up to where you stitched your corners, and it just takes a lot of that bulk out of there so that you don't have that in your corners, and they come out a lot neater. Okay, so we left our opening. We're going to just make a turn here and push it all through. Sometimes it takes a few minutes to do it, because it's not the easiest thing to do always. But once you get it turned, you'll be able to push your corners out and get it nice, looking nice and neat. So we turned it, and then I put my thumb up in those corners, and then take my finger and just push them through, and it just makes them come out a little bit neater. And I do all 4 of those like that. Over here and do this one. And then one more here. Okay, so we have got it all turned, and just depending on what side you want on the inside or what side you want on the outside, does not matter, because you can use it either way once we finish it. We're going to go to the to the ironing board and we're going to press it really nice and neat. Okay, we're at the ironing board and we're just going to press everything. Where you left a little opening, you want to just press your seams into the inside because we're going to top stitch over that here in just a minute. So you just want to press that down a little bit right there on that one, and down a little bit on this one. Let's put them together. When you top stitch it, we'll pin that here in just a minute. And then you want to go around and just press down all of your seams and press those pleats down really nice and neat. From both sides. Go this way and press it the other way also, because it just makes it nice and neater. Alright, and we're going to go back. Isn't that going to be cute? So I'm going to put probably, I like the lime green side on the outside, but you can, like I said, you can do it both ways. Makes it perfect to just set your bowl down inside, put it in the microwave. You got the corners to pull it up on. So now we're going to go back to the sewing machine. We're just going to top stitch around the top, and we're going to have a finished product. Okay, we're back at the sewing machine, and this is where the lime green thread comes in. Is like your top stitching. It just shows it nice and neat on here and gives it a little bit of a contrast. So where we left the opening, you want to make sure that that's folded down a little bit there, and we're going to pin that so that when we go over it we don't miss that seam catching all of that. One pin might be enough. So now we're just going to go back in there, and this I'm going to do right at the edge first, and then I'll come back and do another top stitch kind of a little further in. So just make sure your edge is pushed in there really good. On your corners, just come up, get to your edge, make your turn, and just keep on going. Sometimes I think that homemade gifts sometimes are the best, because people sometimes appreciate the hard work that you put into it and that you took the time to really do that for somebody. So, and it's a budget friendly thing too. So if you don't have a lot of money to spend and you've got some fabric in the closet, it definitely makes for a nice budget friendly little project that doesn't take very long to do. So. Back to where we started, and then we're going to do one more top stitch on this, and we are going to be done. And you're going to see the finished product. And then always, like I say, make your little back stitch there to lock your threads in. We're going to do one more top stitch just about it. I'll trim that in a minute. Okay, so now we're going to put our presser foot down about a 5/8 inch seam and come in just a little bit further, and we're going to stop stitch it one more time. I have a little back patio that's right outside my door here, and I tell you, the squirrels sometimes can be relentless on your plants. For some reason, they want to get up there and dig into those pots and mess up what you just planted. This is going to be the last side, and we're going to be finished. Okay, so we've gone all the way around. We're going to trim our threads. We're going to go back and do one more pressing just to make it nice and neat. Make sure you don't have any threads hanging around, and we are going to see the finished product. All right, back to the ironing board. Press it one more time. Press all around your edges. Press where those little pleats were at. Guys, there is the finished product. You can flip it either way. You see how it's got your little, turned out so cute. And I hope you enjoyed this project, and if you are enjoying my content, I would appreciate if you'd subscribe to my channel, and if you would give me a thumbs up on my videos and likes, and hit that bell, and we will notify you when I upload the next video. Thank you. Y'all have a great day.